Egypt, April 11th through the 22nd. So we got all these fun numbers going on. Laura, Mitri, and myself, we're going to be taking a group of people to Egypt. And hopefully the link for that's going to be down below. And if this video, and I think it will, get out before January 2nd. So if you get signed up before January 2nd, you save 10% off of your purchase. And then if you refer people to that successfully sign up for the Egypt trip, you get $100 off your trip per person. So, and that's only through January 2nd. So that's why it's really important that if see this and it's TikTok, you're like, oh no, it's New Year's Eve, you're gonna have to get on it. No. But so many places to go. It's gonna be 12 days of journeying through Egypt, going to all the different, not all the different, but there's a whole list of itinerary on the website. Again, link down below for that. But we're going to be doing the cruise down the Nile, going into the King's Chamber. We got private tours for that and for the Sphinx, several things. So go check it out. I'm going to be teaching light language and channeling, and also we're going to do a group regression for finding out what is your pull to Egypt. Why are you drawn to it? Did you have lifetimes there? And then Laura's going to be doing astro travel, teaching astro travel. And how much fun will that be when we get to just sit there and astro travel into these beautiful sacred sites and into the temples and stuff, and just being in that energy. So a lot of extra stuff that we're doing on top of the tour, wherever we can squeeze that in, we're going to be doing that. So come check it out. It's going to be April 11th through the 22nd, 2024. So if you get signed up before January 2nd, 2024, you will get that 10% discount, and any referrals that are successful in signing up will also be $100. So
it's $100 per referral, successful sign up. And you mentioned earlier that you need to put down a deposit, correct, for this event?
Yeah, there is a $700 deposit to put down. That'll hold your spot. And then when everything is set, there's a date that the balance will be due. And if you need payments, then there are payment plans to also that could be set up for you. So trying to make it as easy as possible to get everybody there. Laura's working really hard to get some discounts for us through the guides that do these tours, and she's done good. She's got the 10% off. If we can get people signed up before the first of the year, they're willing to take the price down a little bit for that. So that's what we're doing, you guys. We're working at it. We want to be there too, so we're trying to make this as affordable as we can. The price of the tour includes your lodging, and I believe at this point 2 meals, breakfast and dinner, because you're going to be out during the day, so it's hard to do lunch, but breakfast and dinner and lodging for the 12 days of travel. So
is it 2 meals per day?
I believe so. You'll get breakfast and then you get dinner.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
So
includes the lodging.
Her goal, and I have to tell you guys, Laura is a master. Her goal is to make it so that there is as little out of pocket when you get there as possible. She said they can't include the tips, so tips is something that we'll, like for the bus service that we will use to get to the different sites, there is tipping there, but she's doing her best to get it as inclusive as possible.
Right, one price for everything.
Yeah, because we want to make this as easy as possible for everyone. So
you mentioned astral travel, so y'all gonna do the astral travel in the pyramid and float off?
That would be amazing, don't you? Maybe this little guy up here should be a pyramid instead. But yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We did make a video for this. It's on my website, traciemahan.com. And it's also on the website, which is Laura Mitri something. And sorry, that link's going to be down below. It's a little bit longer because it's got all the little slashes and hoo-ha's in it for the Egypt trip. But there is a video that Laura and I put out for this, just kind of describing it. And it's so much better hearing it from Laura because Laura's been to Egypt several times. So she talks about it, and I'm sitting there in the video like, because this will be my first trip and I'm really excited about it. But Laura's been there several times And she just felt called to bring me along on it and bring this is something I didn't know. She said that the Arcturians are very connected to the temples and to the pyramids. And so she wanted to bring me along to bring in the channels from the pyramids. And so I'm so excited to be part of that. Like, yeah,
Oh, nice.
I want to do that. So
You
I'm
have to fill
excited.
me in about that one.
I know. I'm so excited. I didn't know that was a thing. And, I've always been drawn to Egypt. It's been on my bucket list. And I'll know people that go and I'm like, how come I haven't got to go yet? And then boom.
Your wish was granted.
Yes. I waved the little wand, or somebody did, and wish was granted. So anyways, please watch the video. We will be having, hopefully before New Year's, we're going to be having an open Zoom meeting. Anyone that has questions can pop on and ask us questions about it. So watch for that too. The way to find that is my website, traciemayhem.com, or any of my social media, Instagram or Facebook social media. I'll be posting it in those locations as well. So those are ways to find out. Oh, and on my YouTube page. And so those would be important places to go if you want to be part of that. If you don't have to be signed up to come to the meeting, just come and ask your questions so that, if you are interested, we would like to answer those questions and help you understand the trip and how it works. And Laura's going to get us all set up and how to get your visas, how to get your transportation, what's included, how to get hooked up with that. Any questions you have, she'll answer it. She'll tell you. She's telling me that there's like a 3-day cleanse that you'll want to do before you go because the vibration there's so high that it will mess with your system if
Or wear you out kind of thing.
Yeah, you might not feel so good for a day or two getting acclimated to the energies. So she said, if you do this little regimen, it'll help you. And she said the last time she did it and she felt great the whole time. So she's going to share that with us. She's going to give us all the tips and all the things that she's done that have helped her have very successful trips. So, I mean, what more could you ask for?
Nice. So with this trip is Laura, she's going to do presentations. She's going to be a tour guide as well. Like she's going to be talking about just different places and so on. Like,
yeah, she's already on the website, has a whole bunch of things written up about all the sites and storylines of, what's happened here, what's happened there. And I'm sure she'll be sharing that along the trip and giving everybody the background to the different sites that we're going to be going to, as well as she's the one teaching the astro travel. And yeah, it's going to be great. Lots to learn. It's going to be very activating.
nice. So this is going to be your first trip. So you're going to learn a lot.
I'm going to be,
because I don't even think
I'm going to be doing the cleanse before I go because it's going to be like,
because I don't even think you've been paying attention to Egypt overall, like the architecture, the different pyramids, the different gods.
Yeah, I gotta do some homework because it's
gonna have a crash course.
I can have the crash course. Yeah. And I'm excited about it. I'm willing to do the work. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. And
you should have went to King Tut's museum at the Luxor Hotel.
Oh, I should have.
Yeah.
I know. That did happen right after that, didn't it? Oh, that's interesting.
So that's what I wound up doing after the Vegas show. I wound up going to the King Tut Museum.
Oh, did you?
Did
you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It looks like a lot of stuff were replicas. So at least that was my opinion. Some stuff did look real, but some stuff was just replicas of it. So which was fine,
Yeah.
because they're trying to put on a show and an exhibit. But yeah, it was very interesting, and the way all the digital interactivities that they had with it as you walk through the exhibits. But yeah, it was pretty neat. And then that was pretty cool that you wind up having that trip to Egypt coming up. And I was like, oh, look at the odds of that,
Yeah, I didn't even put that together. Jason and I
were was at a pyramid hotel.
Luxor. Yeah, we were just living in a pyramid for what, 4 or 5 days at the Luxor Hotel in Vegas. And then I get invited to Egypt. I got activated in the pyramid. I mean, I sit under a pyramid. I made the copper pyramid that I sit under here. I did have a past life regression where I was in Egypt as one of the priestesses that would create the tonics for the hierarchy to take the tonics, and they would go into the the dream channels, or they'd be out for a couple of days under this tonic and go. It's like a near-death experience. It's the best way to describe it. Yeah, all I remember about that past life is that I was in a temple and there was these tomb-like chambers and people would lay in them, and I had to watch over the people that were in them and be guarding over them, as well as watching their breathing and all this stuff. So it was interesting, but it was a long time ago when I had that regression, so the details of it are a little fuzzy. But and then I had another one where I was phasing in and out of a secret chamber in a pyramid.
Hmm.
And it had a table, a healing table that you would lay on, and there was all this light language inscribed around it. But that one was kind of like I saw it and then it was done. And so there are connections there for me. I just have never been able to get there. So
Nice. Well,
now I get to go.
hopefully by the time you get there, they start exploring that hidden chamber that they found in the pyramid, hopefully. So I don't think that's going to happen in 2024, but I don't know where they're at with it, but I don't think they're going to do anything just yet. So hopefully in 2025, they make something happen.
Yeah, that'd be
So that's
awesome.
pretty cool. So Laura, she does astral travel. Does she do anything else, like teachings of anything else?
I think Laura's one of those people that does everything, but doesn't do it like on this public forum.
Gotcha.
So, I believe she is part of the QHHT group. She's one of the practitioners, and what I know of Laura is she's very, very intuitive. She was Matthias, is that the gentleman from Gaia that goes to the pyramids? She's been traveling with him and doing work with the activations of the ley lines and stuff through pyramids, the pyramid grid work.
Very nice.
That like she's gifted. She's got a lot of powerful energy, but I don't think she's so much like, hey, I offer these sessions. It's kind of more like I do these things and I'm going to go around the world and be in these places like Peru and Egypt, and I'm trying to think. I think she's been in Mexico and different places. She's more of the traveler. She goes where she's needed. So
Nice. Brings
yeah,
that healing energy to those ley lines.
that's right. Yeah,
Cool.
activate
Well,
healing.
hopefully by the time I get there, all the healing is done by the time I get to Egypt.
You'll just bask in the
Since
glory
everybody's been there
of all
doing
the
all that healing
activation.
work with the ley lines.
Well, hopefully the work we're doing is more of an activating. I feel like we're going to do activations versus healings,
Okay.
maybe personal healings, but as far as, I don't know, maybe there's more to it. It evolves as we go. So who knows what all we're going to be doing there, but it's already the people that are signed up have fun stories as to what brought them to sign up. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to hear everybody's stories. Like it's too cool. So
Nice, nice. Very exciting stuff. So that's April 11th to the 22nd. So it's a 12-day event, $700 deposit. This is ancient Egypt. So you're going to be exploring the pyramids, the Nile. I guess you're going to go to all the other temples down there.
yeah, I mean,
Kings Valley, anything like that?
let
Valley of
me,
the Kings.
I'm gonna pull it up if that's okay.
Sure.
So this is the journey. This is the 12 days. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot. So there's the video for you to watch that we did. And then Laura's got a lot of different things written up here about this journey. There's the cost, but you get 10% off if you join in before the 2nd, January 2nd. So there is, yeah, this is the website, mitri.com, and then you'll find the Egypt page on that. I'll give that
Perfect.
to Jason to put down. But yeah,
Yes, that link will be in the description down below. If this is the podcast that you're listening to, so the link for that will be inside the podcast description.
oh yeah, sorry, I didn't read those off for you in the podcast, but go to the link and you'll find it all. I'm just afraid I'm going to pronounce something
Luxor
wrong.
was on there,
Oh
Cairo,
yeah, we got
Germany.
Cairo and Aswan and yeah, see we got like E- Ed flu. I see I'm gonna butcher it all because I don't have the accent or the knowledge behind it, but yeah, there's gonna be a cruise down the Nile. There's just a lot. So
Perfect.
and she goes into telling you what the fee that you're being charged covers and what it doesn't. Um, you're gonna have to get your own flight there, but then once you're there, or your travel to and from, but once you're there, you should be pretty taken care of.
Perfect.
There'll be a couple of costs, but it'll be hopefully minimal, very minimal.
Nice. Exciting. Very exciting. I'm very happy for you and proud of you. That it's pretty cool. So if you
It's
listen to,
exciting. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. When I saw that, I was like, oh, look at this. That is awesome. So this is like something that could be new and exciting. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to this video or watching this video and you go on this trip, I want to know if you feel any Atlantis connections with it, or if you have any feelings of that come up, because a lot of people don't realize that little part about it, with ancient Egypt.
Hmm.
And a lot of refugees from Atlantis went there to that area.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that too. And apparently there's some Lemurian energies somewhere. I don't
Mm,
remember who all was. I've had so many Egypt conversations now. It's like, oh, it's getting real. It's getting very real.
yep,
In fact, my
yep.
first client,
Lemuria had their part in it as well, so they were part of it. So
yeah.
they had a hand.
So it's going to be exciting to see what comes through because when we were in Kauai, there was a lot of Lemurian energy there, and they
Oh
asked.
yeah.
I got asked to do a little guided thing, and when I did, uh, there was this Lemurian goddess that came through and did this whole activation with everybody. And at the end of it, people were like, "Where did that come from?" I'm like, "I don't know." So if if it happens in Hawaii under those conditions, I can't imagine what could come through in Egypt. So I'm pretty excited about that. Asking Daniel, "You
Absolutely.
ready for this, Daniel? Are you ready for this?" So yeah,
Absolutely. Very exciting stuff. Very cool. Is there anything else going on that we need to know about, you little busybody?
the busybody. I'm trying to think if there is. I mean, Jason and I are going to plot a little bit more about maybe possibly doing something in his neck of the woods. So what I would like from you guys is if we did something over in New Orleans, would you want to go? Would you want to do that? So comment down below because Jason doesn't think you would, and I think you would.
Yeah, who wants to come to the Voodoo Nation where there's Mardi Gras and people drinking and all that? Nobody wants to do all that. But I do have to say at that
Did it in
Vegas show,
Vegas.
y'all
Yeah.
light workers know how to party.
Oh, kidding. There was some fun dancing and all kinds of stuff going
So
on. Yeah.
those light workers are throwing it down on that
They
dance.
like their spirits.
They're on a whole nother dimension, some of those
That's
guys.
right.
So
That's
speaking of,
funny.
if you want to watch, I do have a video of the Leo King. He is DJ. I did do some video of that, but that's on my other YouTube channel. So I can leave a
Oh,
link in the description for that. But
that's awesome.
um, we did
I
throw
had to
around a
fly
couple
out
of,
early the next morning, so I left before he got there. And I'm
yes, he
sure it was
he
just a few
came on,
minutes before he
he
got
came
there.
out late. It was like 12
Yeah.
something by the time he
Yeah, and
came
I was like, I gotta get up for a flight. I gotta
on.
go. So
Yes, and I waited too to see him throw down on the ones and twos. So
yeah.
for that New Orleans trip, me and Tracy threw around the idea. She asked me about it. So she said, "What about a trip to New Orleans and doing, I guess, not an excursion, but kind of like a meet and
A
greet kind of
little,
thing,
yeah,
or
spiritual workshop.
yeah, some kind of workshop down here?" And I was like, "Well, I always thought about it, but I just never really, put pen to paper kind of thing and throw out any ideas with it. Always thought it would be interesting and cool, but if you are interested, leave a comment below, like Tracy said, or send me an email or hit me up on social media somehow and let me know your thoughts on it. But I know you don't want to come down here in the summertime.
We'll
You
be
would be dying. You would need all your light worker energy for that.
Anything else that you're doing that would be good? I mean, you're always putting out new videos and interviewing some pretty incredible people. Anything?
I do have something in the works. So from the Vegas trip, when I went to Disclosure Fest, there was a couple of people that I did talk to and reached out to. So I did take some pictures with a few individuals, if that would be a hint. And I did post them on Twitter and Instagram. I did something with them. I posted them somewhere, and I did ask them about the podcast for them to get on, and I threw out my theories, and they were very interested in what I had to say and my theories, and do a video collaboration. So that is in the works. So yes. So exciting
time.
time.
Watching for that. That'll be fun.
Yes. So, and then other than that, I've been looking into not Disclosure Fest, Contact in the Desert. So I've been looking into that. So I'm going to try to do a couple of big events per year. So at least 2, even though it's a little pricey, but at least try to budget 2 of them.
It's in there. Yeah.
So, but other than that, so today we got the Star Wars theme, as you can see. So I have
beaming up a tree. Yeah. We're both getting out of the way.
Yeah. So I have Rey and Kylo.
We're bringing the spirit of the
lightsabers.
energy. I'm wearing my Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
So.
I got my Christmas jacket. And my Christmas tree.
So cheery.
Love it. I had to bring it down, I had to match Kylo,
Yes, you did.
I had to match him. He has that candy cane, so he's just tearing it up.
Yeah. I like how it just kind of comes out of your shoulders.
I know, like I got wings of candy canes. So for the podcast, Tracie has a UFO over her head with Baby Yoda, and there's a Christmas tree underneath it, and there's a UFO on top of it, and the UFO is like lighting up the Christmas tree like it's about to beam it up.
Beam that up. I don't know if that's Yoda. I think it's just a little alien dude.
Maybe.
Super cute.
Could be Baby Yoda.
Christmas.
For the Star Wars theme, we'll say Baby Yoda.
Yeah, it's Baby Yoda. That's what I meant.
But it does look alien-ish, but Yoda's an alien too, so
Yeah, true. To us, anyways.
Well, if there's nothing else, I guess we can go get Daniel and get this party started, so Daniel can join into the conversation. And we do have a question from a viewer. He did send me a message, and it was a very interesting question. So I will ask that later on. So yes, it'll be interesting. So I know we're going to talk about messages for 2024, but it kind of relates to that, but you just have to go further out. Further out.
All right.
Keep going.
I'll go get Daniel, and we'll start this conversation, see where it goes. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. See you guys on the other side. You can see we like the Christmas spirit too. Bring our little ships, and we light up your trees. Yeah. We want to say hello to you, Jason. Thank you for bringing us on again.
Well, hello, Daniel. How is everything? Have you been busy lately, or you just relaxing?
Well, we like to say we are just relaxing and feet up in the air and enjoying all the changes going on for all of you down there as we watch you hustle and bustle through your holiday season, right? And
absolutely.
We are always doing something, always doing something. We're busy like you guys. We like to work. We like to be in this energy. It is a very exciting time, and we say this all the time because all the time it's a very exciting time. You are alive, you are experiencing, you are in a physical body, and you are having all these wonderful experiences in that physical body. You get to smell things, taste things, hear things, see things, touch things, and feel things. And so why not just enjoy it, right?
Absolutely. You
can hear the audience going, yeah, and it kind of sucks, doesn't it, when you're feeling hard things and yeah, things aren't always so great, but we think that you will start to feel that relief and feel the shift. If it doesn't feel good right now, it means you're doing your work. It means it's showing up for you. It means that, oh, we want to say, so many of you have been doing your work, your karmic work, if you will, if we want to use labels. You've been doing all your karmic work, and now you have graduated, and now you are doing your inner work, your self work. And if you're listening to this, that we're talking to you. You're on your self journey now. You're done playing with the karmic loops, right? And all the relationship mishaps and the solving and the healing and the ancestral stuff. And you're working on you now and finding where are your wounds still at, where are you still hurting, where's the pain and the damage that you are healing for yourself, so that you can now be in self-love, self-care, and you're really just beautifully on this journey. How do you know? Because it probably sucks a little, not all the time, but you know, you're going to keep getting triggered in your things, so that you can do self-reflection. But we want you to embrace it. We want you to go, this is a very exciting time, because wow, I am really having to look at my stuff. I'm being triggered in all my insecurities. I'm being triggered in all my wounds and childhood traumas, right? And so that is a good sign. It means that you're ready for the hard things. It means that everything that you have done has gotten you ready for the hard things. And the hard things are that self-reflection and that getting real with yourself, and what part are you playing in this outcome that you're having, and you're starting to do the work, and you're starting to do the math, and you're starting to figure it out, and you're starting to heal, so that now you can have the better outcome that you've been looking for. So we say it's a very wonderful time to be alive and to be immersed in whatever is going on in your life. Yeah, we didn't wait for you to ask us if we had more to say, so we just jumped on that.
Perfect. So, well, thank you for that. For tonight's session, is there any topics you're interested in talking about first before we start talking about questions that we had on our side? Is there anything that you wanted to bring forward? Any topics?
Well, let us scan the energy. It's reading the room, right? What does the room need to know? What is it that this audience would benefit from knowing? It is a reminder to let you know you are by design. Your higher selves are working with your councils to create and design the life, to bring into your path the things that are going to help you evolve. The only time this pattern gets repeated is if you are not paying attention, right? And so you're like, why is this happening again? Why is this happening again? It's getting more and more obvious when it's a pattern too. You're not going to be able to deny it. You're not going to be able to go, well, that's similar to what happened last year. You'll be like, my gosh, this is almost word for word and detail for detail what happened last year. And you're going through a cycle again. And so we'll say to you, you're doing it by design. You're making it so obvious for yourself. Everything in front of you, around you, is talking to you about the things that are important for you to know about who you are, where you're at in your journey, including the things that you love, including the things that make you feel good. Those are showing you things too. It's not always just, oh, all the sourpuss things that are showing up. It's showing you what you still got to work on. No, you're getting glorious things showing up for you too. Manifestations, like Tracie going to Egypt, right? She says, oh, I want to go to Egypt. And then she ends up in a pyramid in Vegas. And then she ends up getting offered to go on an actual trip to Egypt. And so the manifestations, they are happening very quickly. Yeah. And they're moving in your favor. As long as you are taking the time to reflect and realize, what is it that is happening here? We want to say to a lot of you, if you find yourself looking at someone else and saying, they did that to me, or they're doing this to me, or they, we want you to wrap all of that back around to yourself. What is it that you're doing? What is it that, what part are you playing in that? How are you perceiving what is being said to you? And start dissecting it as if it is all being offered to you on a plate to show you something. And start recognizing where you're doing things right. It is time to pat yourself on the back a little bit, right? It can't always be work, work, work. You need to have playtime. And it's important to bring the joy into that playtime. It's important to go and celebrate your life. You cannot always be working or paying the bills or doing the things that are stressing you out. Taking care of other people, taking care of homes and all the things. It's time to play. Jason plays. It's important, isn't it, Jason?
Yes, very important to have some playtime.
Yes. And you need to have things to look forward to. Otherwise, what is the point, right? We know that you live in a monetary world. We know that you have bills to pay. We know that you have this structure in front of you. But if you start feeling defeated by this structure, then the structure will continue to defeat you. So you have to break free from it. You have to get out of those old constructs and move your energy out of these old thoughts and these old patterns that you've been in. These are the patterns. These are the patterns. Why is this showing up again? Well, what is the pattern? What is the belief system behind this? This is why it keeps showing up, because you haven't changed your belief system. You haven't changed how you think about it. You haven't changed how you respond to it. And so change it, change it, change it. We would tell each and every one of you, if you feel like you're stuck in this energy, if you feel like nothing's moving, or you feel like there's something that you would like to have shift in your life, we're going to have you do something a little funny. We want you to move the furniture around in your home. If you feel like you're getting kind of in a stagnant energy, move your furniture around. Give it different places in your home to sit. Maybe you even take some furniture out of one room, put it in another one, and switch the rooms around. But we want you to change the energy in your home physically. And that's going to help you start changing it in other areas too. If you cannot do the same routine, then because you moved the couch that you used to sit on is now in a different spot, or the chair or the thing, the TV you used to watch is now in a different room, you're going to have to change the patterns that you were doing. And it's going to help you break free and break out of these stagnant or feeling stuck or nothing changes kind of energies. And with that, we think that's a great way to segue into the new conversation. What is it that you have questions for? And where are we going as we move into the year to come? So what is it that you would like for us to talk about with you, Jason?
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for that information. So the first thing we would like to talk about, we always get excited to learn about the future, to learn about things that's going to happen around the corner. So me and Tracie was wondering, what kind of messages do you have for 2024? And that's always a favorite topic of ours to dig into. What can you tell us about 2024?
Remember, the most important thing is you're going to have what you believe you're going to have. So everything we say here, if you like it, take it. If you don't, dismiss it. It is your discernment, right? We go back to everyone has their own reality, and you are always right in the world that you're living in. And so as we look at this as a collective, as we move forward as a collective, we do want to touch on medical systems. There are some changes coming in for the medical systems. There are also some things that are going to be called out in the medical systems. There are some truths that are going to be revealed. They cannot hide it anymore. They've been trying to hide it. They've been trying to sweep it under the rug. They've been very vague about information that they have, very clearly have. People are losing loved ones, and there is a reason behind it, and that's going to come out and be in the open about that. There are times this is going to be upsetting to a lot of people to hear what is going on in this medical system. As we say this, we can hear all of you going, well, what is it? Well, what is it? And we bring you back into belief systems again. You have to understand that those who are leaving the planet, they're doing it for a reason. They did not do that against their will. Those who have left the planet, that was by design. Now, maybe that is a title, right? And by design, because that is your life. You are not leaving before you give that permission to go, right? You are here until you're not, right? And you have designed that. And so just trust and know that if you have a loved one who has left this world, that they had designed that. There is purpose behind it. There's great learning and great lessons behind it. But there are certain people, we're going to say the word, the heart attacks. There's been a lot of heart attacks all around the world. And more information will be coming through on that and what is causing that and what has amplified the heart attacks around the world. Okay. We do not have the answer for you as to what that is. If that is your next question, we do not have that answer for you, but there are things that will be exposed. There are things that have been hidden from the population that will come to the surface. And some of you may feel you already know those answers. And again, we'll say for you, in your reality, you are correct. And you have to remember that your belief systems are creating realities. Okay? So if you would like it to change in the masses, we need to change the belief systems. We need to raise the vibrations. You have more control than you think you do. And so when you are looking at the globe, when you are looking at the world and you are seeing things that feel threatening to you, we, as always, will implore you to send love to that. Send love to the thing that feels threatening to you, because when you go into the fear around it, then you are feeding it. You must move into a different frequency if you want a different result. And so just like in your own personal life, you got to change the way you're thinking about it, change the way that you are looking at it, and start to see it in a higher frequency. And as you can do that, you will notice that your world, your personal world will change, the information in your world will change, and you'll start experiencing the world differently. As we can get the collective to start doing that on a bigger scale, the more people that do it, the more it affects the collective projections of this world. We are trying to find right words for these things. We hope we're doing okay with that.
Yes, you're doing perfect.
Wonderful. So as we move forward, we do see a lot of celebrations in 2024. There will be victories that you don't expect to have happen. We do see a lot of, we're seeing the oceans, the waters. There are many more people coming into awareness of the pollutions around the world. More and more people are working on clearing out the waters. And we have been talking about healing waters for some time now. That's no secret. It's been over the past couple of years, we've talked about healing waters. And we just want to say, you're going to start seeing demonstration of the water systems, rivers, oceans, lakes, all of it, getting cleaner and cleaner. And you're going to forget, you're going to remember, maybe is a better word. You're going to remember how it used to be. The water used to be clear. We could see to the bottom. It was beautiful. And then now all of a sudden that's going to start happening again. You're going to start noticing the waterways will be cleaner. There's going to be more restrictions applied to that because the people, the humanity is tired of the pollutions. And as people slow down on being consumers, as people are slowing down on what is the word? How is that saying go? Competing with the Joneses or the neighbors,
keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses. There you go. Thank you. As people start slowing down on the spending, as people start slowing down in the purchasing and the consumerism, your world can repair itself, and it will start to do that. There will be less waste. There will be less manufacturers. There will be less of these things, and there will be more of what you actually need, which is clean air, right? And clean water and food sources and different things of that nature. So you will see this, you'll see information, signs of this, and over the next 5 years, you'll see great change in this area. And we've talked to you before about the food simulators using, creating a food source for you through the simulators that are just as nourishing as the real thing. because it doesn't just replicate the appearance and the textures of the food, but it also replicates the nutrients of the food. And so you might even be able to celebrate in the fact that it would also get rid of impurifications of the food, if you will, things that your body would consider toxic. It will
Mm.
be able to filter through that and remove that from whatever it is that you are consuming from these devices. We are ways off from it being that exciting, but those things are coming. Those things are in your future. People are already thinking about how to put and assemble these things. We know that there are already systems in place that are not public knowledge, but they can't hold that knowledge back anymore. We spoke of that before. More and more of this information is being put into the collective grid, and more people around the world are assembling and moving into their creative mind. And that is what Tracie was talking to Jason about, this shift in January 20th, when Pluto goes into Aries, and we'll be going from from an earth sign into a not into Aries, sorry, into Aquarius, and it'll be going from an earth sign into an air sign, which will be bringing you up into your minds. This is when you're going to start seeing a shift in the collective conscious, because they're not going to be connecting to the earth grids. They're going to be connecting to the collective conscious, higher vibrational grids of the mind. And so then that is when you're going to start seeing a lot more people coming through with possibilities of energy sources and moving into these different inventions, things that are going to be able to recycle the plastics and the things that you consider trash in your world. It's going to get minimized. Right now you have humongous landfills, and your world is figuring out ways to work with that and to recycle as best as possible. But wouldn't it be amazing if there was some sort of device that could help you take that waste and reduce it to a fraction of the amount that it is now? Take the waste out of the oceans and out of the waterways and out of our beaches and all the different places, and start to reduce this impurification of your planet, saving a lot of the natural elements and letting them rebuild and restructure themselves to do the work that they were always intended to do, which was to create the clean water sources and airways and food sources. So there is a lot going on in your planet. And some of the times in the past, we have talked about different underground tunnels, tunnelways, even some of that trafficking and different things that happen in these underground or secret passages. And a lot of that has already been cleared energetically, and more of that is going to be cleared, more of that is going to be moved on. We understand that you turn on your television, you turn on your computers, you listen to your radios or whatever it might be, and you are hearing these stories. You are hearing these stories that could sound like nightmares even, that are going on around the world. And we have to say to you, things are not always as they appear. It's not to say that this is not happening, but it is. We want you to use your discernment when you are listening to something that is giving you fear-based information. We want you to take a step back from that. We want you to look at it with your spirit eyes and look at what's really happening there. One, is it, sometimes you can listen to the television and you could think, man, I don't even want to walk out my front door. It sounds so bad. And yet this could be a very isolated, pinpointed, tiny area of your planet that this is actually happening on. And these systems, these news systems or whatever ways of communicating this information can make it sound very threatening, very scary, and global. And so we're not saying that you should not use your discernment in those areas. If you are traveling, be mindful. If you are if you are looking at something, please research it. Get more than one source of information around it, and start to educate yourselves. That is going to be a very big, what do we want to say, pushback in this energy, where you want to be in New Earth, and yet what you see around you doesn't feel like New Earth. What you are watching on TV, it feels like everyone is still lost and scattered, and this Earth is, it's failing, it's not going to make it. And we say to you, they want you to think that, they being the ones who feed on fear. We want to talk about that, because we don't want that to sound like these are the enemy. They can be perceived as the enemy, but they feed on fear. And so it makes sense that in their dimension, if that is the thing that keeps them alive, then they're going to create it so that they can feed, right? Just like you create food so that you can eat. And so we don't want you to demonize them so much as to understand it so that you can move past it. And so if you could restructure and think to yourself, okay, if I lived in a realm where the only way to survive would be to pick up that fear vibration, then I would want things around me to be putting off that vibration. And so I'm going to create that reality, and I'm going to create things that bring in that frequency from the things around me. And so what better way to eliminate that than to move out of the fear and start sending in that love frequency, sending in compassion and kindness, send something different in than the fear-based energy. You all have a huge amount of control here in your own realities, and then as a collective in your global reality. And so we want to encourage you to play with the power that you have and have fun with it, because what's the one thing that is a very powerful energy, and that's laughter, that's joy. Have some fun with it and be in a joyful place, and send the things that don't feel very good to you, that want to strike fear in you. If you just send it lots of laughter and joy and prayers, your kind of prayers, however you want to pray or speak over it, but speak over it with joy. And we can give you an example of that. If there's a situation that you would like to have change, then you just speak over and say, oh, I'm so excited that this is all changing now, that we're seeing the last of this come across here, and that everything is being healed in this beautiful, beautiful energy that is being created on the earth right now, and that all the leaders of the world are starting to feel this energy shifting, and that we have the best leaders in this planet. We have the best leaders that have all of the people at heart, and they're doing what is in the highest and best good for the earth, and they're doing what's in the highest and best good for the population. And these are the best leaders that we could ever even imagine. And you know what happens? We're not saying that we're condoning what's happening right now is in leadership, but when you start calling in the best leaders that are looking after the people, you're going to create that reality. So call in those leaders, call them in through your love, through your words, and through the intentions that you are holding, and things can change very quickly. We've all had that happen, right? Things changing very quickly. One day you might be feeling this way, and then all of a sudden the next day everything changes and all the things fall into place and everything lines up and all the bills are paid and all the things are taken care of, right? And so things can change very, very quickly. Why not put your energy towards that? So in the year 2024, more of that, please. And yes, you're going to find yourself in a much different energy. You are going to be more spiritually connected in 2024 because you are going into that air sign. You're going into that energy of the mind. And so your mind is going to want to connect to those spiritual elements. You are going to really anchor in and discover what is the right path for you, what is the right and what is wrong for you, the relationships that are working and not working. Can you heal the ones that aren't working? Can you work with that? And can you amplify the ones that are working and bring even more joy out of those? You're going to be doing a lot of self-discovery in this coming year. It's going to be a big shift from the way things have been for you, as things have been coming up emotionally and through the physical being of you. And you have been working through a lot of things physically, mentally, and emotionally in the last, well, several years, but you have really been working hard this last year so that you can launch yourself into this new era. And you have been getting your body and your mind and your soul prepared for that. As you have been doing all this work, you've been listening to the videos, you've been going to the lectures, you've been attending the workshops, you've been reading the books, you've been doing the work. And so when you move into this new way of being and you feel the shift of all of this weight that your body has been carrying and that physicality, and then you can release that. And now you're going to start using your mind to expand. You're going to feel like meditating more. You're going to change the way you're eating. You're going to be finding yourself having more clarity and even telepathy opening up even more, because now you're in that mind. You're in the energy of the mind and the air. And so you're going to find yourself advancing spiritually as much as you would like to. Again, you have free will. So if you want to expand a lot, you're going to open your mind and it's going to expand a lot. And if you just need to take baby steps and a little bit here and a little bit there, then you're going to do that. And if you're not open to it at all, you're probably not listening to this, but you'll also receive that outcome. So we're just saying to you, be open to change, be open to the flow, understand that your higher self is designing this for you. Trust your higher self is working towards your highest good, right? It wants you to be successful and why you are here. And it's going to line you up with that. So if things are falling away in your life, trust it. If new things, new doors are opening up, trust it and work with that energy. If you have dreams, start working with those dreams. Start manifesting and creating as if it is already there. We all know that in a manifesting tool. Feel it, sense it, taste it, hold it, whatever it is, and feel yourself in that energy. And then one day you'll be in the actual physical incarnation of that energy and experiencing it in real time, real life. Let's look at here. There's showing us something, so we want to see it. Oh, interesting. There's been some dormant cells, they said, in the water. Some dormant cells in the water. Species that have been unseen for a while may start to come back as these cells in the water start to get reactivated. It is going to rebirth, if you will, the species. There may be a couple of different things in the water that people will be like, oh, we thought this was extinct, and here it is showing up. It's been
That's interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? We weren't looking for that, so we like it when that comes in, right? When it just shows up and says, hey, talk about this. It's been dormant, and the shift in the energy is reactivating it, and these species will come back. And Tracie's over here going, it's not something prehistoric that'll eat us, is it? And so, no, we see it as something to enjoy, something that will be beautiful and magnificent, not something threatening. There's nothing with big teeth coming after you, so we think that's okay. It's more of a plant-based energy, and also something that would be we're trying to find the right kind of species to compare this to, like a cross between a jellyfish and a seahorse is what we want to say, and we don't even know how to make you visualize what we see here. But these are non-threatening to humans anyway. And anyways, some things may surface in this next year, resurface, as we might say, species that either have never been seen before or that were thought to be extinct. And that can be fun. In our minds, we're hearing, is that because of the melting glaciers? And it could be, that could be part of it, is that there was something that was preserved in that is being reborn. and not to be afraid of that. The glaciers are going to melt, and it is okay. The world is still doing its thing, and it's shifting, and the weather changes occasionally, but we don't see any threats. We don't see any really big threats in the world as far as natural disasters go. Nothing more than what you've already experienced anyway. We're looking to see if there's anything else to be brought in on that.
Anything political?
Well, you have a lot of things political going on, aren't you? Since you asked that question, we are just asking, we're staying in an open place. One of the things we like to talk about in channeling is all channels come through the filter of the one channeling, right? And so Tracie's pulling her political energy back so that we can try to be as open and neutral with that as possible. And we don't want to move information through her channel or through her energy filter, right?
Well, for 2024, hopefully politic wise, things start getting better political wise, where the politicians start serving the people. Hopefully.
When you say it like that, we see 3 timelines, and one of them is that. We want to again come back to the point of the people are powerful. Everyone is powerful in the way that they are thinking and creating. So make sure to see the leader that you are voting for, the leader that you are rooting for or supporting in politics, and not just one leader, all the leaders. There's many offices, many positions being held. Sorry, this is where Tracie gets in many positions that are excessive, and so we'll pull her back again. But as you see, when you get into this new energy, when you get into 2024 and this new way of being, there is a lot of energy around the not tolerating the same old thing again. You are all starting to think more clearly for yourselves and breaking that pattern, breaking that chain of continuity of being in the program of what they want you to say and think and do, and you'll keep having a happy life if you just keep doing this thing that and stay in this platform. And what is that? Keep your head down so no one sees you kind of thing. But people aren't going to do that anymore. They're going to be popping that head up going, wait a minute. I'm the one that's got to live this life where I'm working 2 different jobs to try to pay a rent that's outrageous and barely put food on the table. I'm working myself to death. And a lot of people are going to start rebelling against that and around the systems. And so people are putting their head up. That's what we'll say. And that is going to change things. It is a process. We don't see a massive overthrow. Is that what we want to say? We don't see anything. We see it building. We see it building. 2025, you might see more of that in 2025 as people have to experience a few things in 2024 to move into that space of we're trying to choose words wisely because we don't want to use trigger words. Move into the space of creating the change that they desire. How about that? And so you may see more of that be influenced in 2025 and then over the next 4 to 5 years of changing systems and breaking down into new ones. And we see this as such a positive thing. If you were to have someone take away the phone you're using now and give you a different phone, and all the programs are different than what you're used to, you're going to be grateful for the new phone, right? You're going to be like, oh, this is an upgrade from what I had before. But now you have to learn all of the new systems and how to run those apps. So think of it like that. You're going to be, the system you're used to is going to, not all at once, but piece by piece, be eliminated, and new structures are going to come in. And that usually makes people cranky, right? It's like, oh my gosh, why do they keep changing everything? Why do they? It'd be like if in the US they said, okay, now everybody drive on the opposite side of the road that you've been driving on. That would be a tricky one to get used to, right? And everybody would have to adjust to that. But in time, they adjust to it. In time, you get it figured out, and pretty soon you're navigating that the same way you would anything else. So we say to you, you will be going through these changes, but be patient with it. Be patient and keep calling in the highest vibrational changes. And within time, not only is it going to be much better, but it's going to, you're all going to feel better with the changes that are happening. You just have to get through that uncomfortable phase where you've got to learn the new system, right? So we see that in a few areas in your politics and the way that things get structured. If any laws or rules get changed, that feels uncomfortable to people, and so it's getting used to a new structure. We're not saying your rights are being taken away. We're just saying things are being restructured. And if you think about it, they kind of need to be. There's a lot of things going on in your world that are coming from very old constructs that were created when your world didn't look the way it does now. And so changes need to happen, and they will happen. And as a collective, keep that in mind as you are going through it. Hold the highest frequencies, hold the highest vibrations. Remember, this is what you came here for. As a volunteer, as a light worker, however you identify, this is the time you came here for. You wanted to be here to help support this planet through the changes. Follow your gut, follow your intuition. Even if you think something doesn't look right, it hits you funny. Stop and separate yourself and ask, is this thing that's happening, is it in the highest good? Am I just not seeing the bigger picture? And then get disconnected from it, allow for that information to come in, and then go from there, because it's really easy to get pulled back into that third dimensional construct and to move into the energies of anger and frustration and feeling disconnected and agitated. And so separate yourself from that, sit in your meditation, ask your questions, and get your answers before you react as best you can. We know that sometimes reactions just happen, right? And they're just there for us, as that's part of the experience. But we want to remind you all that everything is in perfect order. Things that are surfacing now that don't feel great, they're surfacing because they also need to heal, just like your own individual things are coming to the surface because they need to heal. And so being in that energy of the healing of it is very important. This is what you're here to do. Bring in the colors, bring in the codes, bring in the light, bring in the vibrations, bring in the frequencies, bring in your higher selves, bring in your teams, however it is that you put yourself forward when you're calling in the highest outcome. This is the time to do it, because you are in the shift. You are in it. It's not coming. It's not going to be next year, this year. What date is it? You're in it, and you are helping to create it. Your higher selves are working very hard at this, and they are creating the frequencies that are the best match for the highest outcome. So why not amplify that in a conscious way by pulling it in even stronger and bringing it to all the systems of the planet, all the grids of the planet, the upper grids, the lower grids, and start sharing this energy in a positive way. And when you find other people who are in distress, find ways to help them through that. If you can, move them into a higher frequency as well, and bring humanity back, right? Bring humanity back, help your fellow brothers and sisters, and remember why you are here. Remember why you are here. Don't get lost in the politics. Don't get lost in the competition of this world. Don't get lost in these things. We want you to remember why you are here. And remember the goal, the outcome is to bring in the new earth. You can't say I want a new Earth and then complain about everything else. That's not conducive to creating the new Earth. All right, we're gonna quit talking for a minute and see if you have any questions.
Yeah, almost forgot my question. So you mentioned the air sign. We're going from the earth sign to the air sign. So with that being said, what does the air sign kind of mean for the people that might not understand that part with the air sign? It, is we're connecting more to our higher selves. Would that mean anything like telepathically or any abilities? What does that mean?
Absolutely, we think it would mean all of those things. If you were thinking about an Earth sign, Earth signs would be more of the brute forces of things, right? So maybe you're in a psychic sense, you were working on your empath. How many people out there can identify with being the empath? That's a physical thing that's happening in the body. You are working through the emotions. You are in the body. You are doing things in the body, very tangible. Earth-related vibrations of the earth. Now you're moving into the Aquarian sign, the air sign, and that is more about the mind. So telepathy, psychic communication, channeling, bringing in higher self information much, much easier, finding yourself in the flow of more of that energy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And that would probably be the end of what we would say about that. It's you are going to be more in that spiritual connection. That'd be a great time to do more of that dimensional travel. You can take your mind's eye and pretty much go anywhere you want to go. That's some of the stuff that Tracie's talking about with the astro travel with her friend Laura. She's going to be teaching people how to use the mind's eye and these frequencies to bring in the astro travel.
Oh, perfect time to do it. Do it in Egypt, you know?
Yeah, it's very much so. Mhm.
Well, it sounds like 2024 is going to be pretty exciting, like every year, sounds like. Um, Hopefully nothing too chaotic. But to move on to the next question. So this question was from a viewer. So he sent me this question on Instagram. He sent it to my personal account. And it was a pretty interesting question. So this deals with 2040. And his question is, can you ask the council? It didn't specifically say Daniel. I don't know if Daniel wants to pick this one up, but it says ask the council specifically about May 2040, the return of the red planet, or AKA the Phoenix planet. Do you have anything you would like to share on that?
Well, let us look at it. We're not familiar with this prediction or this prophecy, so let us look and see. The red planet or the Phoenix planet, May of 2020 or 2040.
Yes, 2040.
Well, we get a lot of chills just thinking about it. It's running up our legs and the spine. It is a very powerful energy. The first thought that came in is there's going to be a lot of energy around the hybrid race that's been created off planet. That is what we see. It's interesting. We see a lot more of that being blended in, or it'll be safe at that point for other collectives to come and go. So those of you who have had hybrid children, this would be a time where you can meet them from your physical incarnation as a human and interact with them. More of them will be here now at that point. We just want to open the doors for anything else that might come in with that. The vibrations and the frequencies of the planet will be in a much, much, much different place. We're trying to ask, is this their version of the fifth dimension or the new Earth?
Oh, like maybe that's their way of describing the new Earth or higher dimensions.
Right, because it feels like the planet is in a vibrational status of being open to other travelers coming and going at this point. We see it as, we keep seeing the color purple around it, so we're not sure what that means. There's a violet or purple aura around the energy. We're not saying the planet, but we're just asking about this particular year, this particular time in the year. And it feels like a very interesting purple color keeps swirling in. So we're not sure what that means. And maybe it's someone else out there listening will understand that. It's interesting because we're seeing what we think would be a stargate, which would be an entry point for these other beings to be coming through, is the stargate. It doesn't look like what you would see on TV, like the circle with all the inscriptions around it. It feels
like the
more
show
like
Stargate.
yes, like the show Stargate, because that's what Tracie was like, well, that doesn't look like a Stargate, but it's two pillars and it's very large. And it feels like it opens, like it's large enough that, say, an airplane or a ship, another ship from another world could fit through it. It's that big. And people can walk through it, or it can open up and navigate through. So this is really interesting because we're looking more for what is this red planet, what is this Phoenix, and we're getting some interesting other pieces of information. So there's great potential. We're just going to use the words that are coming in. There's great potential for humanity at this time in 2040. There will be, it'll be a time, the Earth you know today will not be the Earth of 2040. It'll be different. It's not that far away, but it is far enough away that there will be a lot of advancement or technology introduced into your world.
Interesting.
And so there's going to be different forms of travel. There's going to be this, what we want to say is communication like what we're doing with Tracie would almost be irrelevant at this point. Like you could literally have the conversation with us in person. At this point in this version of the world that we are looking at with this red planet energy. We're trying to understand what it means. They said more diamond light will be coming in. This is a frequency, this is an energy that we think is part of what is bringing the vibration up to hold and sustain Earth into its new Earth frequency. We don't feel like new Earth is fully, completely in its little nutshell yet. Like everyone's here, we're there, we made it to new Earth, but we feel like it is
like they're waiting for something else.
There are still parts of the population that are still navigating their way to that space. And so it's not quite complete yet. It's like when you're watching an hourglass and most of the sand has gone through, but there's still that little bit of sand and you're just waiting for the last pieces to fall through. It almost feels like we're in something like that, where it's almost to its completion. And that humanity as if you are on a tipping scale, the scale is definitely tipped, and it looks very good. It's an interesting thing. We want to use words like it's smoother. And we're not sure where these words come from.
Like the planet is smoother or the energy?
I think they mean the energy, but even the surface of things looks softer. Things feels the inner, okay. As we talk about it, maybe we'll get it figured out with you, yeah? As we look at this energy, it feels like things are softer, but the mind, okay, so more of the brain will be used at this point. Okay, gotcha. And so when more of your mind is opened up, more of your mind is being used now, the way you see things and perceive things with your eyeballs will be different. And you'll be able to sense things with your physical body differently. Your physical body will literally be different because of the vibration and frequency that you are able to hold and sustain through the opening of the mind. But you'll see buildings differently, you'll see energy differently, people differently, and it feels softer. Like there's not as much, well, there isn't any of that harshness, right? Or any of that shadowing. Everything feels soft and safe and comfortable and feels different. It almost feels like like we're on a different world and we're asking, are we on the earth? They show us funny things. We ask, are we on the earth? And they show us the Empire State Building. So I guess so. We're on the earth. And I feel like we're only talking a few years from now, but it feels like in this vision that we're many years in the future. And so we're trying to figure this out because it feels interesting what's coming through for us.
Maybe it deals with the energy.
Could be the energy, or it could be that there's also for lack of a better way to put it, time travel, but it doesn't feel like time travel. It feels like almost like dimension travel. Like you could go to more advanced worlds. And maybe that is what we're seeing, is that you're able to travel differently. This is what we keep hearing. You're traveling differently. So maybe there is an open in the what would we want to call it, like wormholes or gateways, like the Stargate, that moves you into, you're going to know how to use your mind better. Your mind is going to be a very powerful tool. It's going to continue to open up. We're going to simplify this. It's going to continue to open up. It's going to continue to expand on what it can understand and conceive, right? Like right now, if you were to be given all the secrets of the universe, you wouldn't be able to understand them. But as you keep graduating and elevating and moving into what's next, and you fall into self-love, pretty soon it won't even be like, what do you mean people didn't like themselves? We don't even understand that. Just like children don't understand what a landline is these days, and there will be a time where the children will reflect back and they won't understand what it was like to not love yourself. It doesn't even compute, because that is what you are elevating to. And so it's not even a subject, right? Because it's like breathing air. Of course you love yourself. And so the mind expands, and the abilities of the mind, very interesting. The civilization feels like there is a rapid, you're already in ascension, so we're not wanting to use that word. You're going to go through a phase where there is a rapid advancement.
So this planet that they're talking about, would this help bring or help us open up our minds more, the discovery of this planet, or this planet entering, I guess, our system? or something, anything like that? Is that why like our minds will open up? Like this helps with that?
What were you saying about, you said drain the system?
So like this planet entering into our solar system, would this help like open our minds? Is that what the purpose of this planet's for? Like discovery of this Phoenix planet? And you mentioned the mind. Does this planet help humanity open its consciousness or open up its mind?
What, the question that popped in as you're talking, Jason. So we personally don't have the answer to this question, but we always outsource, right? We ask someone to come in. They said, ask him if he's sure it's a planet.
Hmm.
And so, see, this is the stuff that we get too, and we're doing the same thing. What is going on with this? So understand that even though we have access to a lot of information, we're that may be above our pay grade, whatever you want to call it. It's information that would be probably a different collective has been working with that information. So it is new information to us, and we're looking at it with you and asking these questions because, of course, we have infinite knowledge and we have infinite ways of receiving the information. And so each and every human that is exploring this thought and this idea may perceive it differently. So we do want to say that. So whatever you're hearing us say, if it doesn't resonate, explore it yourself and see what comes in. But we see this planet, when you talk about it, it feels alive, just like all the planets are. And it feels like there is a very high intelligence energy that comes from this planet. And so our answer to you would be yes, we feel like this frequency, as Earth evolves, it opens up to new experiences, right? As we raise the vibration here, we are attracting like-minded and similar frequencies, right? And so as we keep changing the planet's frequency, of course, we'd have to assume that the planet is now going to attract other things to it, other things that will become vibrational matches to what we are setting up now for this galaxy as we keep raising the vibration. One of the things that was said very early on is everyone is watching this, right? Everyone is watching Earth and they want to see what is Earth doing and will Earth make it? And why is that? Because Earth is like that final little piece that when that puzzle piece goes in, everything evolves. We are part of a multiverse, and as each universe excels in its raising of its vibration, then the whole multiverse moves into something new. So wouldn't it make sense that when Earth is elevating its vibration and frequency, that is now pulling new things to it and new experiences like this red planet or this Phoenix planet. And so it's very curious to us because it feels like there is a high intelligence there. It doesn't feel threatening. It feels empowering. It feels like it opens up to even more beautiful gifts and abilities, more ways of experiencing life, and it feels like a peaceful interaction to us. So that is what we'll say with that.
Very interesting. So
We're
I
going to
guess
be curious what you have on the planet. We're going to be curious because
at first when
interesting.
you was like, is it a planet? I was like, ooh, is this like Star Wars spaceship type of stuff? Like not the Death Star, but like their version of a
Yes,
starship or something like that. Like
keep
like
an
a
open
moon
mind.
base or something. I was like, ooh, interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we still have about a few minutes left. Well, actually, yeah, we just have a few minutes left. If there's anything else you would like to share about that subject about 2040, let us know. But if not, we can move on. If there's anything you want to share with the audience.
Hmm. We do want to remind everybody again, there are multiple timelines that we are still playing with. So if there is anything here that you would like to create, set the intention to be on that timeline. If you would like to not create it, get on a different timeline. And you are, again, the creators of your own reality. So focus, 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 right? You are creating 2024 right now. What do you want? How do you want to feel? What do you want to see, experience, and do? And how do you want your relationships to be? How do you want to be seen in the world? How do you want your physical health to be? And just start setting the intentions of the energy with great certainty of these outcomes, right? As you keep creating, you will keep having experiences. Everything is in divine order, and not to be in fear of any of it. It is working itself out as we are all being navigated. What you are experiencing in your life is showing up for you because it is the thing that's going to push you in the direction you need to go. Is going to love you the way you need to be loved. It's going to show up the way you need it to show up. So if you're healing, if you're still on a healing journey, just be ready to reflect. Why is this person treating me this way? Or why did that happen at work? Or what does this mean when, why does my bank account look like it does, right? And so when these things are showing up, it is time, if they are causing you stress or disarrangement of your energies, it's time to go look at that and heal those things so you can step into this glorious, beautiful energy that is waiting for you. And we just want to encourage everyone to continue to be on this journey, continue to be doing the work that you've been doing. We know that all of you have worked very, very hard to get to this point. Keep going. This is the time that you came here to be in so that you could hold the energy, so that you could keep holding that frequency, that vibration. And remember that the love is the key, right? Love is the key. It is the answer. And with that, Jason, we feel like Tracie's voice is starting to fade on us. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Yes, it has. She is over the hour mark by a couple of minutes. I know she could do it for another 30 minutes, but
Yes.
it is the holidays, right?
We will let her go, right? We will let her rest that throat a little. But we want to,
Perfect.
did we answer all your questions for you?
Yes, that was very interesting. And then at the end of this session, I will put my 2 cents from my notes that I have about 2040 as well. So, but yes, it was very
The
good.
true
Very,
reveal.
it
The
got me
reveal.
thinking even more as usual, Daniel.
Beautiful. Well, we thank you so much for bringing us on again. We thank everyone for letting us be here and share this time with you. With great gratitude, we'll bring you back, Tracie.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
How you feeling?
Close so long, I forgot I had the cute little spaceship there. No, my throat was getting a little dry. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you was talking for a while. You was just going on and on. I was like, should I interrupt her or what?
Yeah, sometimes that'll just happen. And then when I come back, I'm a little more out of it when I'm left to talk like that. No.
Yeah, because I was like, man, we still have one more question left. I was like, shoot. I was like,
Yeah. Do I need to just need to poke her a little? What's that? No. So what do you have on this planet?
yeah. So to add more information to the conversation, so I did respond back to the person that asked me that question. I said, well, I do have some notes on 2040. I know I have something. I didn't know what it was at the time he sent me. I said, but when I get home, I'll check my notes. And when I looked it up, I was like, oh, well, this is very interesting. So I read his comment one more time, his message to me, and I'm reading my notes, and it says, oh, I do have something on 2040. And I was checking it out, and it dealt with Dolores Cannon. So in her book, Nostradamus, Volume 2, page 112, with Nostradamus, where she was doing that collaboration with him, he had a passage that said, two more planets will be discovered. The first planet will rule Virgo, and the second planet will bring in the true Aquarian age of wisdom. The Aquarian age, the golden age. these two planets are part of another solar system. So I asked the question, I didn't even realize I asked the question, but I was like, wait a minute. So the air sign opens up the mind and bring in the higher
Brings in
self,
the higher
opening up the
self.
mind, you know what I mean? So I guess opening the mind up for telepathic wisdom, the higher self, you connect it more to the higher self. So I guess
We're getting
wisdom will come
ready.
with it, you know?
Yeah. Well, and he kept saying they feel very intelligent. So it, that would verify that it's bringing in the wisdom. Um,
So that was interesting. And then another one, what was the second one? So different book, same author, Dolores Cannon, The Custodians, page 209. There will be one huge planet discovered about 2040 and another in the year 3000. So very interesting. Two different books, two different time frames, The Custodians and the Nostradamus volume, both talking about planets being discovered. Very
Interesting.
interesting. And
And it
then,
does, what they were saying made sense to me, that as we raise, I mean, when we raise our vibration here, what happens? Certain friends fall away and new ones come in that are more vibrationally matched. So of
correct.
course, wouldn't that happen with our planets as well?
Ah, that's
Because that's
cool.
what they were saying, is you're
This
going to
planet
raise the
rises up.
vibration.
Yeah, I think I
You're going to
remember,
attract something to you.
right,
Yeah.
another session was like, there's life on other planets, but you can't see it because it's in higher dimensions. And then once you raise your vibration, you
You'll start to
discover
see.
these other life forms on other planets.
Interesting.
It might be part
Which
of
might
that
be that
planet.
Stargazer portal thingy that I was seeing them talk about. Is that
Ah,
we're going to be able to interact with those other planets because our vibration is high enough now that we'll be able to bring that in.
hmm. Reminds me
It's
of
not very
Dune.
far away. That's what I kept thinking. That's not very far away.
No, it's not. I mean, you think, oh, 2040, shoot, that's a long time from now, but you're like, you know what? That's not that far.
No.
To discover a whole new planet in the solar system, that's in a lot of people's lifetimes right there. Now,
Yeah.
granted, to get to 2040, depending on what timeline you're on, um, it's a rough journey. It's not going to be smooth sailing. It's not going to be like a cruise ship, where you're on vacation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We've got a lot to accomplish yet before that.
Hmm.
But it was interesting to keep seeing purple energy. And
Yeah.
these were softer. They were using interesting words to describe it. It was like,
So I guess with the energy, the higher vibrations, the energy will make things not as dense or as hard. Because they
yeah,
always
I
say
think
we're very dense.
that's probably what they were trying to describe, is that it was going to be softer or lighter, uh, more fluid, maybe. I don't know. It's interesting though to think about that. So
Hmm.
very
Got us
nice.
both thinking again.
I know. Again, and I hope you're all thinking with us too,
Are
because
you thinking to call this hotline?
and to clarify, I had no idea what was going on with Red Planet. And actually, I don't even know. Did you even tell me it was Planet? You just said 2040. You were going to ask me a question about 2040. Maybe you said something about the planet,
Yes, I did say
but
something about that.
I
Yes.
had no clue where he was going with that.
I saved it as a surprise.
And another clarifier, I haven't read Dolores Cannon's books. And Jason knows that, but I want to remind the audience that I haven't read her books. It's not that I haven't tried, and it's not that I don't own them. But I have not been able to read them. And I asked, why can't I read her books? Like every time they get interrupted till I finally just gave up on trying to read them. And they said because they didn't want me to be influenced by them.
That
So
can be very, very understandable. Yes.
yeah. So when it is a Dolores Cannon, like the Nostradamus and stuff like that, I don't even own that book. Um, so when things can be mirroring to things that are said in there, I get excited about that because I didn't know she said that. I didn't know that was in her book. I don't have that information. So
Yeah.
2040 was not on my radar.
And Holly, if you're listening to this video, Holly Duckworth, she's the one that recommended Nostradamus to me. So I'm glad she did. Very, very useful information. A lot of tons of stuff
Yeah.
are in those
I
books.
do recommend those books because they are fascinating. I just myself didn't get to read them, but
That's all right.
this
I'll
is
tell
fun
you how
for
they
me
are.
though, when I don't get to read them and then you ask me questions like that and I get similar answers, like it's a very intelligent planet. It was like,
Yeah, opening of the mind,
yeah, opening of the mind, that information coming through, all
I'm
of
pretty
that.
sure if you open up the mind, the wisdom will come in.
Yeah. And so what is that, 16 years off? We need to be in our bodies are getting ready for that to take place.
Yeah, yeah.
But weren't they saying our bodies were going to be different?
It should be lighter. That's
I think
that's
that
what a
is
lot
now
of
though,
sessions
didn't they
talk
say
about.
that?
Higher vibration.
Yeah, but wasn't that what Daniel was saying, is that our bodies are going to be different? I
I
thought that
remember
was
the
that.
mind. I remember that for
Yeah.
sure.
Anyway, we're going to have to go listen
And
to
I
our own
remember the
books. I don't
touch.
remember.
Like when you touch something, it'll be softer. So maybe, so if objects are soft, wouldn't the body be softer
Body
as
would
well?
be also at a different frequency. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
won't
would
be
have
as
to be.
dense,
Have to be.
because we're very
That
dense.
world wouldn't support us. Like, put that one on a diet. No, I'm just
Yeah, I
kidding.
mean, if you think about it,
Yeah,
a
the
whole
diet
nother.
was supposed to change all kinds of things. Oh, but that's for 2024. That
Yeah, I
was
was gonna
pretty.
mention
Yeah.
2024. So, what you thought about that? We can jump into 2024 if you want. That was pretty cool. So, there's gonna be some victories. There's gonna be some medical exposure, exposing some truth, disclosure.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Somebody,
true already. There's supposed to be some new reports coming down in
oh,
January,
is there?
February.
Okay. Yeah, I just know
More
that,
stuff's supposed to be revealed.
yeah, I just know a lot of people are exiting through the form of heart attacks. And I find that very interesting because, it's like my dad's had a couple of heart attacks and he gets a stent or, whatever, and that kind of thing. And then here's these young people, like my cousin died of a heart attack and he was 54 years old.
Mm,
And, that was just a couple weeks ago. And then yesterday we heard of a neighbor guy that was 45 that died from a heart attack. It's like, what's happening? So it definitely was on my mind, which might be why they went into that, because they did a autopsy on my cousin and it was very vague. They were just like, yep, that's what it was. And they're like, but what caused it? And they can't get any answers out of them. So it
hmm.
had suspicious.
Yeah, and you hear about the
But
athletes as well. So,
yeah. Yeah, so it's an interesting time. We're not through some of the hard stuff still, we still got some of that to go through, but we're also here to hold the energy and the space. And some of that hard stuff is also the stuff that's helping to wake people up and move that energy around, get people to be like, what's happening here?
hmm.
We need answers, and they're not going to stop till they get them. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I did not have any notes on 2024 until now.
It makes me feel any better. Good, I can't get it wrong.
No notes on 2024. It's a blank slate. Do what you want.
I heard, I've heard things too, and I was trying to keep all of that out of it. It's like I do try to pull the things that I hear and dive into. But I did just have my astrology chart done, and so the
Oh, okay.
astrologer was telling me some things about 2024 that I found very interesting. But what we're in right now with Mercury in retrograde and Pluto is still in Capricorn, it's really forcing us to look at what's working, what's not working, reminisce, revisit, go reanalyze, that kind of stuff. And it's supporting us in making some changes so that when Pluto goes into Aquarius, we're going to be more set up for that energy. So it's interesting. This next month will be pretty interesting because we're talking 1 month from the day that we're recording this right now. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting month.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting.
Patience with yourself, with others. Christmas, if you get this before Christmas.
Yes, I'm gonna edit this video real quick.
Get it
Not
out
too
there.
much editing.
Good. That's awesome.
Throw it up
Yeah,
there.
and we have the best backgrounds ever.
That's
So
right. I mean, got coordinated, got the Star Wars theme going on,
yeah, make it hang up.
UFOs, aliens, future stuff, you know.
Hey,
Even
I would
though
like,
Star Wars takes
yeah,
place in the past, but it's all good.
I would like to do a shout out, and we do this every once in a while, but I want to say thank you to Chris from Australia for
Yes,
Chris
Australian Chris.
breaks this down for you guys, and I know if
Yes,
you're at this point and you haven't figured out, Chris timestamps this, so
yeah, so
thank
Chris
you.
has been wonderful. He's been helping me out a lot with the timestamps and putting timestamps in there because a lot of people like to use the timestamps, especially if they have to go back and check something out, or if they're in a rush, or if they can't watch the whole series at once. The timestamp comes out very, very handy, and it helps them remember where the conversation was, where they left off.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this on a podcast, I don't know how that works. So,
Yeah.
but I
We
don't
still
know if
want
you
to
use
thank
time.
Chris, though, even on the podcast.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chris from Australia.
Yeah, you're our hero. So, and thank you to Jason for all the editing and time you put into these.
Oh, it's not a problem. It is my pleasure. So
I get the easy job of showing up and talking.
we do have to thank a couple of our viewers and listeners that was at Las Vegas at Disclosure Fest.
That's
So,
right. We got to meet
yes,
some of them.
it was
That's
very
fun.
interesting to meet individuals that came up to me and say, "Hey, you're Jason." I said, "Yes." I'm like, you want me or you want Tracie? And they're like, no, I want to talk to you. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So it was very cool to meet some listeners and some fans of the show. And matter of fact, I brought a couple of people to the show because they did not know about Disclosure Fest. So
That's so awesome. Yeah.
I got
That was, by the way, that was a fantastic event, the Disclosure Fest. And the proceeds that they earned from that went to charity. So just wanted to
to
share.
help out like with the homeless shelters and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you ever see the Disclosure Fest being advertised again, it's definitely that was a good time. We all had a great time.
Yes, it was fun.
I
Definitely
watched
a
might have
good
been a
event.
little bit of a long night for you, but
Yeah, at Area 51, I did not come back until 2:30 in the morning.
but yeah, so wonderful time. I can't wait to do it again. So hopefully we'll see more of you guys there next time they throw that. I'm
Yes,
hoping
yes.
it sounded like they were planning on doing it again. So
I
must have
hope
been,
so. There's a lot of great speakers. Too many speakers, too many. You
I
really had
know
to
it's
pick and
hard to see them
choose
all.
who you wanted to go talk to. So,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. But they do have it all recorded so that you can see them all later.
You're
So
gonna have to.
go to the ones that are most important, and then afterwards they do publish the videos, and then for a small fee you can get those too. So
Yeah.
so then you can see it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to because there's no way you can listen to all those individuals speak. There's no way.
absolutely. Yeah.
Unless you're multidimensional.
You can remote view from just go into your hotel room and remote view all the different places
Galaxies.
the comfort of your own hotel room. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Well, Tracie, thank you for everything.
thank
Thank
you,
Daniel
Jason.
for us. Have a good Christmas. I will get this video up so we can so people can know about this Egypt trip that is coming out, and then also keep our Christmas theme going for
That's
the
right.
Christmas
We gotta,
out
now
before
it's,
Christmas.
we put ourselves under pressure with the Christmas background. So,
And for the people listening to the podcast, I mean, this UFO looks like a big old hat on Tracie.
it
If
looks
you,
like a
if you
sombrero.
watch the video and you see me smiling every now and then or laughing, I just keep looking at this hat that Tracie has.
I love it.
So
There's a tree. I know, but how could you not get that little guy? He's so cute.
look like
The
he's just sitting on
alien
your
at the
head.
top of that ship is cute. So very
So
cartoony cute. Anyways,
perfect,
all right.
perfect.
Well, bye everybody, and thank you, Jason, for
Thank
once
you.
again. Wonderful, wonderful interview. Appreciate
Absolutely, anytime. Until next time. So I will probably have to say I'll see you next year.
it. That's right. See you guys next year. All
So,
right.
all right.
Bye-bye,
Take
everybody.
care. Bye bye.